Hey everyone, I just thought I'd share a little short video of how I clean my kamados. I'm going to be using my slow and sear kamado, as you can see in the background there, as the kamado in this video. I have a few different kamados, so this is the one I'm going to show you on. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to clean a kamado. I do this twice a year, once in the spring. It's not quite spring yet, but it's warming up out here in Illinois. Nice warmer day in the upper 50s, sunny, so it's a good day to do it. And then I do it again in the fall before the winter really kicks in, just to get the grill cleaned up, get the grates clean, get the inside of the kamado, get all that grease burned out of there. And doing a self-cleaning cycle on one of these things is really easy, really convenient, and one of the reasons why I like kamados. So if you want to see how I clean and, well, self-clean or help clean a kamado, stick around, I'll show you how it's done. This is my slow and sear kamado, and it's from SNS Grills, formerly known as the BEER-N-BBQ company. I got this grill just almost exactly a year ago, I think. I have to check my records, but I've had it for the past year, and it actually, just as I expected, it's kept its shape and quality still pretty well. I mean, I use this thing all the time. It's always outside. I have a cover for it, but I don't always put it on, and it's still in great shape. For those who are curious at what a one-year-old slow and sear kamado grill looks like, the trays are fine, just a little wear and tear. To be expected, right? Nothing crazy here, and the stainless steel hardware is really holding up really well, and just to be expected because stainless steel is worth the upgrade in my opinion, right? And so let's go open this thing up. And I've used this grill almost exclusively over the past year, so it's got a lot of use on it, and it's got a lot of grease. The grates are all greasy. You can scrape the grates, right, and they're shiny in the middle, but on the edges, you know, it's hard to scrape those clean a lot, so you get a lot of gunk built up around them, and I want to get that off of there. And just for those who want to see the inside of one of these kamados, you know, it's all blackened on the inside. There's a lot of grease up towards the top there, all not grease, but like soot and other things that's kind of gumming up in there. That's normal wear and tear. And the gasket is doing really well. It's a little dirty because I do use this thing a lot, but it's held up really well. So I want to get these grates cleaned. I want to get that stone under there cleaned. I want this whole thing kind of cleaned up and ready to go for the cooking season here in Illinois. So, well, is there really a cooking season? I'd say no. I cook year round, but some people really around here don't even cook at all during the winter. I'm not that kind. I cook all the time, of course, but anyway, it's time to get this thing cleaned up because I'm going to be doing a lot of videos this summer, hopefully, again on this thing, and I want it to look nice. So let's get on with this. All right, let's get the grate out of here. The stone, you can see it's covered and all this stuff in here, and that will burn right on off when I'm done with this thing. The bottom side's clean because I don't let anything drip on it, but it's the top side that I want to get clean. I can scrape all the stuff off of there, but I can burn it off too, which I'll do. And I got all my charcoal in here. I got a kick ash basket here holding all my coals in here. I used the kick ash basket largely to get a hotter cook for like high temperature cooks because it allows more airflow around it rather than putting all the charcoal right in the bottom of the bowl. So I already had this set up from a previous cook this way. It works out fine. I'm going to add some more coals to this thing and get it going. Okay, so I got my cooking grate, that in there. Then I take my stone and turn it upside down so the stuff I want to burn off is facing the fire. Just like that. And I got my elevated cooking rack, which also has the same problem as the main grate. You got all the grease and stuff built up in the corners. It's hard to get that clean, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here as well. Close this up. I'm going to make sure I keep the top vent wide open, but the thing to get it started and going quicker, I'm going to just pull the top off and let that airflow come through and get it really nice and hot. It's been a while now, so I'm going to put this back on. Here, leave it wide open and let it finish heat up the rest of the way. Now here's a little tip about how to heat up your grill. If it's struggling to get above a certain temperature, get all the way up to 600 plus degrees, use one of these. This is a leaf blower, and it works great to really get that temperature up. You put it in the bottom vent, and you blow it right in there, and get a lot of airflow going through there. That temperature will climb really fast. So that's what I had to do here. Unfortunately, it's still a little cold out for it to get up on its own to that temperature, or I was just getting too lazy waiting. So, it could be a bit of both, honestly. But just a tip, leaf blower works really great for this. It's been about 45 minutes to an hour, closer to an hour really, since I got this thing up to temperature. And now I'm going to close the vents and let it cool down. Now, some people, some instructions say you can get this up to 600 degrees and for like 15 minutes and then turn it off. And now, whenever I've kind of shortcutted this process like that, I'm more often than not disappointed in the results. I usually having a partially clean grill and having to do it all over again. So 650 is my go-to. Even 700, as you saw maybe briefly, it spiked a little bit, but now that I got there, I waited for close to an hour. I'm very confident I can close these vents now and carry on and let it cool down. When it cools down, we'll come back. It's been several hours. The temperature is down below 200 degrees. It's on its way out. Normally, if I was doing this video, I would wait till tomorrow when everything's completely cooled to do this next step, but the light is dropping out here and I want to get some food on the grill. So I'm going to go ahead and do this while the grill is still relatively warm. I'm going to put on some gloves and I'll show you how it looks. Got my gloves on. And there we go. So I hope you can see this. Let me check the camera here. Oh yeah. So it's all white now. It's all powdered on there. On all sides, see? So it's powder, it's just ash. And this will brush off real easily with a little, well, just any kind of brush, nylon or metal, whatever. But I want to do that too here. And let's take a look at the stone. Lots of ash just fell off of there. Probably didn't see that because I had it turned backwards, but a ton of ash, see? So let me bring it up here a little closer to the camera for you. And that's all because it's going to brush off, see? It all just comes off with just with a brush. And then we have the rack. So the rack is also clean. Well, that outside edge there looks still a little bit dark, but it'll scrub off really easily with a brush anyway, better than it would if I hadn't done this. On the bottom side, it's all ashy. That all just brushes all off, and I'll show you what it's like when it's done. Let's take a look inside the bowl. And fire's still going. I can still feel it. So again, I wouldn't normally do this. I don't recommend doing this until it's all the way out, but I'm trying to show you I'm just trying to show you how this works. Well, at the time and the daylight's still working with me. See now the ceiling here, this thing, the dome, it's a lot cleaner. It'll be cleaner yet once I brush it out with a brush. And because this thing is still swarming, I got my gloves still on, but I'm gonna brush this thing out. See, so you probably can't see, but there's black powder coming out of here now. See, it's all just black. I'm not gonna do this whole thing right now because I want to get hot black ash all over my patio. But you can see the point here. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the ring here as well, and pull out the ash basket. I know it's still got coals in it, but I got a brick patio. It should be okay. I'm gonna brush one of the grates here, get that nice and cleaned up. And there you go. I've done better jobs of this in the past, but a little bit of a hurry today. Same thing for the other parts. All right, let's put everything back in there. I'm just gonna go ahead and get some of this ash now. I got hot ash still in here, so I have my little ash bucket that won't catch on fire in here. There we go. Okay. All right, let's take the fire bowl out of here. And again, normally wouldn't do this. So early, it's warm still, but I want to show you before it gets dark, and I need to cook on this thing again. So. Time to put the fire bowl back in. Try to make sure there's a air gap all the way around. That part. Let's start. Put stuff back in here again. These coals, they're still going. Again, don't do this at home. Wait, I am home. Add some more charcoal. I'm doing some chicken today, some wings and legs, so that in there like that. Put this guy back on here. A little swing grate. There we go. And of course, put the top on, cap. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and let this heat back up again. I'm gonna be making dinner. And that's how I do it. It's pretty simple, isn't it? These kamados are self-cleaning, and that's one of the features I love about them. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you all next time.